Salah el Bakkoush. She is a political analyst, and he joins me now live. Thanks for being with us. So the government has rejected Cairo's calls for a ceasefire. Is that because they feel they're really just too close to reclaiming all the area Haftar has occupied?
Well, that's part of it, but the large part is that Egypt is in no position to be trying to be a broker of peace in Libya. Egypt, since 2015, has featured prominently in every Security Council panel of experts report as supplying Haftar with equipment and munitions and allowing Emiratis to come through with weapons to Libya.
Okay, still on the ceasefire, though, I'm just curious. I need to ask you about this angle. You know, the EU expressing its support. I was a bit surprised to hear that because France, a key EU member, actually does tacitly back Khalifa Haftar. Are you surprised to hear that there's EU support for the government in Tripoli and against Egypt's calls for the ceasefire?
Well, look, first of all, the EU is really meaningless and has no position in the conflict right now, and it hasn't had any position in the conflict for a while. France is not tacitly supporting Haftar. France lost 3 soldiers in 2016. It was caught red-handed at the Tunisian border when its security or Secret Service officers were caught at the Tunisian borders. Its Javelin missiles were caught in Gharian, and it used its veto within the EU to prevent the EU from issuing a condemnation of the attack on Tripoli while the Secretary General was in town. So I don't think the French position or the European position will matter. I think right now, at least for now, the positions of Russia and Turkey are the ones that matter.
Okay. Having said that, then, I mean, how should the political process move forward? Let me just put it that way. Who has the right, then, to be at the table negotiating a permanent, peaceful solution for Libya?
Look, what Sirte done yesterday is an acknowledgement that Haftar is no longer in the picture. That's very important. Secondly, it's an acknowledgement that taking Tripoli is out of the question as well. So now the question is, negotiate with whom and about what? And I think the military situation on the ground is developing in such a way that it will determine who's going to negotiate with whom and on what basis. I don't think what Sirte announced yesterday is going to be any basis for any future negotiations, and certainly Egypt will not be a primary negotiator or facilitator in these negotiations.
Okay, then what are your instincts telling you? Who will ultimately be at the table negotiating for what peace?
I think it will be the Russians, the Turks, and the Americans going to be influencing the negotiations. As far as Libyans are concerned, will be the GNA and its coalition, and awaiting some other power or personalities or groups to rise in the east. Otherwise, there won't be any negotiations.
Okay, so you're expecting ultimately Haftar to be, marginalized here. He won't be able to participate in any talks going forward. Let me ask you, though, how much damage he could still do, knowing that he might be completely on his way out?
Well, according to Madame Nasser, which is one of the few independent outlets in Egypt, it reported yesterday that high officials in the Egyptian government told it that Haftar will be kept in Cairo for a few weeks until he finds another place to retire. So these are probably signs of things to come, and I think it's a necessary condition for starting any negotiations. Nobody wants to negotiate with Haftar or share anything with him. The man absolutely is crazy with power, and he wants everything for himself.
Okay, Salah el Bakkoush, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us.